Relationships with modifications. Hello, y'all. I'm Diana Brienne. You know, I think most of us dream of those perfect relationships, and often they do exist, or at least near perfect. And yet there are some relationships that we want to remain in for one reason or another, and we choose to remain in those relationships, and yet we have to modify how we are in them. It's not ideal. It's not the exact way that we'd like to be in those relationships. It's not the exact way that we want those relationships to be, and yet it's just the way they are. An example I will use is that many years ago, I knew of a lady that had an anger issue. She was nice 95% of the time or 99% of the time, but you never knew when she was going to get upset about something. And it could disrupt any good situation, and you never knew what it was going to be about. And so what I learned from that situation is that the two people, the one that would have the parties or the gatherings or the family gatherings or whatever, she could no longer invite this other person to the parties because she never knew. It was unpredictable if this person was going to get upset about something. So she wanted to keep the relationship, and yet she had to modify the relationship. She had to modify when she could get together with this person, under what kind of situation she could get together with this person. And when I say angry, it was, a woman was just, you know, she would get upset. She would get upset and become very loud. That was the extent of it, but it was enough to disrupt a situation. And so what she learned and what I learned through this situation is that some relationships you can't put in all situations. Some relationships you can't even have up close and personal. You have to keep them at a certain limit or a certain distance, and yet you can still remain in them. I've had people that I've known that I could have great telephone conversations with, but to get together with them in person was not necessarily ideal. And so there are some people that do better over the telephone rather than in person. Some people I know of, they just text back and forth. They don't even talk on the phone, but they have a good relationship texting. So sometimes you have to find out what works best for you. And sometimes we have to modify a relationship from the way that we would hope it to be to the way it actually works best. From my house to yours, I hope to talk to you soon again. Bye-bye.